Next week, they're going to grow 6 inches.
And that's budding time?
Why? Because their dissolved solids are so low that they're soaking up tons and tons of fluid and nutrients.
So you should leach to make your plants grow bigger.
And they're all at the proper pH, so they're absorbing all the nutrients at just the right rate.
So does that mean if you leach it more than once, it will get bigger, that you don't want it to get too big? It'll get too big?
No.
That's a false.
They can only absorb at a certain rate.
Right.
We are maximizing the rate.
So if you were to leach it again, how long would you wait to leach it if you were to again?
Why would I leach it again?
To make it bigger.
It's not going to make it bigger. Why would it make it bigger?
Let's just say you mess up on the count. When would you leach it again? Before you cut it down?
No, we do this until we get it right. If
Got
we
it.
overshoot,
Start over.
No, there is no such thing as starting over. You don't start over.
You just adjust the pH.
You adjust the pH.
Got it.
So your using plant is not going to fall below 6.3 by the time we harvest it. We just got rid of all the bacteria and all the urea. So where's the acid going to come from? Well, there's still a little bit of bacteria. There's still a little bit of urea. Will it go from 6.6 to 6.3? Possibly, but it won't go below 6.3. So the lowest I'll go with is 6.6. There's a lot of growers who are happy with 6.5. I'm not. I want 6.6 to 6.9. 6.8 is perfect. But you can't go over 7. Now, can you do 7.01? Yes, you can. Because that 0.01, that's going to disappear in a week or two.
Explain to the people that's watching what happens if it goes over 7.
Well, if it goes over 7, it's now in alkaline soil, and now there's other nutrients it's not going to absorb properly.
Right. And then what happens to your buds?
What happens to your plant?
Bud rot?
Overall, your plant is weaker and smaller and less buds.
Got it. Just as a weak plant.
We're going for optimal. We're not going for the highest you can do. We're not trying to just drag them over the finish line. There's an optimal level right in the middle. It takes years and years and years of practice in order for you to actually be able to do it and do it efficiently. Because otherwise, it could take you a day or two to do 3 plants.
Mm-hmm. Like it's done to you.
But I have a decade of records, and I can look back at different pHs and how the pH up affected that batch of soil, and I can estimate the amount I need every time I get new soil.
Amazing.
It's an estimate.
Same.
But once we get going and I see the pattern, I recognize it. And I recognize, these are plants that are going to be 100 mLs or less. These are plants that are going to be between 100 and 200. And oops, this soil that we got is requiring almost 300 mLs to correct the pH. There's a problem with the soil.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I normally correcting with? Anywhere from 50 to 150. It can make a huge difference. Even from lot to lot. Even from bag to bag. This is why we mix multiple bags in our soil. To get it as even a mix as possible. And we'll still never have identical numbers. We'll just have numbers that are close. 100. 550, perfect. You're not going to get underneath what our tap water is. Here, our tap water here is normally 450. That was colder tap water. Temperature affects. That's just passing electrical current through.
I thought you said it was around 7, the water here. From the tap.
You keep confusing pH.
Oh, sorry, pH. Yeah.
With dissolved solids.
That's different. 470 is not the dissolved.
pH is telling you the negative log of the hydrogen ion concentration.
And what's the number here?
The acidity. The pH of our soil or of our water here is about 7.4.
That's what I thought. Okay. And then
your average community swimming pool is between 7.4 and 7.6.
That's high. Got it.
The water that came out of the ground up there, where we grew up the wheat up there, that was 7.6.
Wow, from the water.
It was the exact same pH as a swimming pool.
And it still thrived with that.
Yes,
number.
Of course. Well, yes, but that's because the soil was a buffer.
Yeah, it's all about the soil that you're using.
Yes, and we had
Shout out to Miracle Grow.
I had already prepped the soil. I knew that we would have bacteria. I knew that the urea would take that alkaline soil and make it acidic. In fact, I was afraid it would overshoot, which is why we threw in the powdered dolomite lime. That'll stabilize your pH at 6.8. You have to have a feel for how much to use.
Now, where do I get... Now, dolomite, isn't that... that's important to have if you can do outdoor.
Dolomite lime is...
Very important outdoor. It's the best for outdoor.
It's
necessary.
It's not necessary. But
not if you told me it was if you're doing outdoor.
It's a good thing to add. We added dolomite lime.
Yeah, you said
I just randomly sprinkled about a half a cup over where each plant was going to be.
And that's probably That's why they came out so well.
No, they came out well because we did everything right.
So, but that wasn't in the ground. Was there in the ground or was it in pots?
No,
they were in the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why you have to use dolomite.
When I grow outdoors, I grow in the ground.
Yeah, of course, you're gonna grow big trees.
Right. Are there people who do homebrew mixes with dolomite lime? Yes, and they don't leach their plants, and their dissolved solids are too high.
Okay.
But their pH is okay, and most of the time they make it. Look, but all they're looking for is quantity, and they just grow a whole acre of it, and it's just regular old average middle of the road weed. And
it might look pretty, but it's not that good.
Right. I don't want to grow just average middle of the road wheat. I want my plants optimal. I want them running at their best genetics possible. And
amen.
pH and getting your dissolved solids as low as possible after leaching. And leaching sometime around day 5 is when you should start. I believe we're starting on like day 3.
And that's once it's going into flower? You mean when you're turning it at 12 to 12?
Well, the first 10 days of flowering is called elongation.
Right. Have you gotten to that yet or no?
During, well, we're on our 3rd day. I said it was the first 10 days, right?
Right, you did.
Day 3, we're in elongation.
Got it.
And you want to be doing your leaching in elongation
to
take advantage of the fact that your plants are secreting all those extra hormones that are going to make them big.
Right.
And then as soon as those hormones stop being secreted at the end of day 10, that's when you actually go into flowering.
So, but what about the ones I did outside for pots? You told me to wait 30 days before I leach.
Well, yes, because in 30 days, the pH of your soil will be below 6.3. You can see we had one in there that was 6.36.
Yes, I did see that.
If I just let that one go, is a plant going to flower normally? No.
Yeah, it's going to have a hard time.
Because by the time we get done with it, it's going to be 5.8. It's barely going to be able to absorb phosphorus, and you're just going to end up with tiny little buds.